a car-caught firefighters arrived at the scene. The pickup truck driver came out of the truck. With his arm on fire, Lieutenant Casey told his team to make sure the pumps were shut down. The others grabbed fire extinguishers to save the driver. The driver of another car shouted for help, asking the firefighters to save his wife. Herman opened the car door to rescue the woman, but found she was in a full leg brace, so the firefighters decided to extinguish the fire in the pickup truck. First at that moment, the man saw his wife still in the car and ran to the vehicle and intended to drive her away. But he forgot the gas was still pumping. The fire immediately ignited his car. The firefighters quickly put out the flames and rescued the woman, but Herman was extremely angry at this point. This woman stood on top of a freeway overpass to get the attention of her husband. The more she talked, the more excited she became. Simply took off her clothes. Became today's headline directly. My name is Athena, what's the problem? The problem is, after 30 years of marriage, I can't get 30 seconds of attention from my husband. The woman's behavior caused traffic jams across the city. The cop quickly called for her husband. At this time, her husband was still stuck on the highway on a passerby's mobile phone. He saw his wife in the news. Then he was stunned, rushed to the scene immediately. While the woman was talking to the cop, firefighters pulled out air mattress. Upon seeing the woman immediately took out her pistol. In 5 times, the air mattress was deflated. It also made all the cops to pull out guns at the woman. One firefighter jumped down to comfort her. She pointed the gun at the firefighter. At the critical moment, her husband arrived. He told her wife that he loved her very much, but the woman wouldn't listen at all. She had been a mother for 18 years. After their son had gone and lived a new life, she lost herself. Her husband didn't care enough about her. She was really lonely suddenly. The husband played a familiar music. This was the song for their first date. The husband talked about romantic moments before the woman was touched. She let go of the pistol. The magic of love made people unable to help themselves. Everyone was applauding the old couple. Wife returned to husband's arms and kissed wildly. Although the woman was about to face jail. He sees me? Yeah. Everyone sees you now. Fortunately, if I just see you get arrested, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can, and will be used against you in a court of law. The man accidentally knocked over the wax, pouring it directly onto the woman's face. Realizing the serious trouble he had caused, the man quickly slipped away. A few minutes later, the staff arrived at the scene, and were shocked by the sight. The wax had already solidified, tightly blocking the woman's nose and mouth. Firefighters rushed to the scene. One of the firefighters noticed a familiar bracelet, leaving everyone bewildered. Just a few days earlier, the woman had experienced another accident, getting injured by a falling chandelier. Now with difficulty breathing, the woman became increasingly agitated. Seeing her distress, the firefighter quickly held her hand to comfort her. Once the woman calmed down, the firefighter took out a scalpel and made an incision on her lips. However, it was noticed that the wax had penetrated deep into the woman's throat. Realizing the urgency of the situation, as the woman was at risk of immediate suffocation, the firefighter swiftly inserted an airway tube into her throat and placed an oxygen mask on her face. Fortunately, the woman could finally breathe normally. However, a new challenge emerged. The wax needed a temperature of over 100 degrees to melt, and attempting to do so could potentially cause secondary burns to the woman. With no better option, the firefighters had to transport the woman to the hospital for professional medical attention. A female college student gave birth at home, but the experience terrified her. The newborn was completely enveloped in a membrane, and she had no idea what she had delivered. Paramedics reassured her that it was the amniotic sac and the actual baby was inside. However, the immediate concern was to quickly extract the baby so that baby could breathe. Surprisingly, the amniotic sac proved exceptionally tough, making it difficult to tear open quickly. I need a scalpel. With a decisive cut, accompanied by the rupture of the amniotic sac, murky fluid spilled all over. When Brett asked his teammate for tools to clean the baby's mouth and remove, Lily was now trapped on her counter. Her food truck was absolutely infested with scorpions. The floor, the roof, they were everywhere. Help, I'm trapped. I'm sorry, did you say scorpions? I think they're running from something. Are you near window? Take a look outside for me. As they tried to run from the lava, creeping closer and closer to the truck, due to volcanic eruption, roads were badly damaged. Firefighters couldn't arrive quickly. It seemed that Lily could only save herself. Grace asked if there was a coat or blanket so she could wrap herself up and escape, but there was nothing around the girl, only scorpions all over the ground surrounding her. The scorpions. They got a little stripes on their back with a triangle on their head. Yeah, they determined the type of scorpions. The poisonous kind, unfortunately, so simply running wasn't an option. Thinking quickly, Grace checked Wikipedia. Learned that they didn't like vinegar, so she had Lily spray the scorpions with their in-house vinaigrette. Get out of here, you ugly bastard. Are amazing she was able to clear a path to the door. Carlos yanked it open to rescue her just in the nick of time. The man turned off the lights and prepares to sleep, but suddenly a poisonous tarantula appeared and crawled into his bed when the rescue team arrived. The man had already been entangled in the spider web. One day a man got a job taking care of cats. He originally thought it was dog or something like that, but it turned out to be poisonous tarantulas. With the size of a fist, the man was stunned on the spot, saying he would leave here right now. But he was stopped by the owner of the house. How would I pay you more? How much more? $50 an hour? It's $12 a day. For the week. The man finally agreed and accepted the job. Then the owner of the house went out for a trip. After explained everything, the man was left alone in the house. He was a little scared when he first fed the tarantulas. He used tweezers to carefully place the food on the plate, then quickly closed the door. Then fed the tarantulas at a fixed time. As time went by, the man found tarantulas weren't as scary as he thought, started playing with tarantulas at close range, but he didn't know the danger was coming. That night, he turned off the lights and got ready to go to bed, and a tarantula sneaked into his bed. A few days, the owner of the house called 911. He said he hadn't contacted his house sitter for 2 days, worried that his pet would starve to death, asking the rescue team to go to his house and have a check. The cops were notified and rushed to the man's house. As a result, they were shocked by the scene in front. The man was actually wrapped in a spider web. From tarantulas, they quickly called the firefighters. The captain took out the infrared thermal camera to check, discovered that the man was still alive under the web. The team quickly cut open the spider web with scissors. The next second, several tarantulas emerged from it. One firefighter quickly used fire extinguisher to drive away the tarantulas. Then they put the man on a stretcher. After checking, the man's pulse and breathing were very weak. Looking at the man with bite marks all over his body, the firefighter said the man would definitely become food for those tarantulas if the rescue was delayed any longer. To show off the car's self-driving mode, the man let go of steering wheel, took his foot off the accelerator, and then drank water proudly. He didn't listen to his wife's dissuasion on the phone at all, even started dancing and singing. Suddenly, the man's arm felt numb. At the same time, there was also a pain in the chest. The man had a heart attack. Quickly switched navigation. Then lost consciousness. The car drove itself to the nearest hospital. His wife quickly called 911, but the next second, the car successfully arrived at the hospital. You have arrived at your destination. Firefighters also rushed to the scene, quickly dragged the man out of the car. He was picked up by the doctors on the spot. The firefighter always felt like something was missing, just when they were cleaning up the scene. The captain found another doctor, who was injured and fell to the ground behind the shelf. Just a couple fractured ribs, maybe in multiple places. The firefighters first pushed the car away, then moved the table partition, finally put the injured doctor on the stretcher. But when they were about to leave, only then realized that it was a hospital here. She's all yours. The man was repairing the engine. Suddenly, his hair got caught in the belt. The scalp was peeled off instantly. Firefighters arrived. The first thing the man said was, "Any chance you can get me loose without cutting the hair, kind of my trademark?" After checking, the firefighters found that his scalp had been entangled in the gear. Cutting the hair really didn't work, but could only dismantle the car to save him. The man almost fainted from the anger. Firefighters just ignored him. Moved the front bonnet immediately, okay. Just be careful, please. Then the filter, pull out the water tank. Cut the belt finally. The engine, the man cried out in distress. Didn't care his life was in danger now. His wife called him stupid. After some pulling, his occipital vein ruptured. Blood poured out like a faucet. Firefighters must speed up the dismantling process now. The man was quiet too, as the last screw finally pulled out his head. Then he was taken to the ambulance. His wife asked him never to do car shows again. To please the audience, the man shook his head. "God damn you!" This answer directly made his wife very happy. After seeing this, the man immediately said, "Keep the parts safe, honey. Call the promoter a couple of stitches." "I'm back, baby." The man was flying a commuter airplane, taking his girlfriend flying through the LA skies. But at this moment, the plane suddenly experienced violent turbulence. The man quickly asked his girlfriend to take out the fault detection chart, ready to troubleshoot airspeed 65 knots check. "The next ride will cut off." Check, verify. Flight ring is engaged, check. Cut our pilot. He's cut over, he's in love with the passenger. Check. The pilot promised to love and cherish the passenger until his dying day, double check. Only then did the girl realize what was going on. It turned out that this was all a carefully planned by the man. Then the man took out the diamond ring and proposed to the girl, but the next second, the girl felt her heartbeat speeding up and difficulty breathing before the man could react. The girl clutched her chest in pain and fainted. This scene frightened the man on the spot. He quickly called 911, he was told. The plane was still 10 minutes away from the nearest airport. The operator suggested him to make an emergency landing at a nearby golf course at the same time. The rescue team also arrived. They hurried forward to check the girl. She was found to have low blood pressure and tachycardia, expected sudden heart attack. They prepared to give the girl nitroglycerin. At this moment, the operator called after contacted the girl's doctor. It turned out the girl was taking levothyroxine. Recently, this drug could cause a rapid heartbeat. After hearing this, the captain immediately stopped the team. Not a heart attack. Broken heart syndrome, that's what I'm thinking. It turned out that the woman had broken heart syndrome caused by stimulation and drugs. The symptoms were similar to those of a heart attack. Fortunately, they discovered it in time. Otherwise, once she took nitroglycerin, the consequences would be very serious. Then they gave the girl a adenosine injection. Soon she woke up. The man breathed a sigh of relief. The girl, who came back to her senses, immediately asked about the ring. The man quickly took out the ring and put it on her finger. Yes. She said yes. And she smacked him. The woman was strangled by the snake. Unable to breathe, the firefighters rushed to the scene and discovered that the woman kept the snakes as pets. Various breeds of snakes were in the house. Due to prolonged suffocation, her blood pressure and heartbeat plummeted. The captain wanted to move the snake manually, but Pythagoras' constriction strength was like 50 pounds per square inch, and it couldn't be resisted with human strength. Why don't I just punch it in his face? You can't punch it in the face, Buck. It's a snake, it's not some guy. At an Illinois happy hour, another firefighter considered injecting the snake with morphine to render it unconscious, but this required reaction time. The woman couldn't hold on for so long, and other teammates disagreed on killing the snake. At a critical moment, firefighter Buck, disregarding everyone's objections, raised his hand and cut off the snake's head. The woman was saved. Wow, why is that always the first option for you? White boy macho. I swear to God. Yeah. It was him or you, and I made some situation like that. I always choose to save the more attractive one. Is that right? That's right?